The third aspect I'm going to talk about, I'll call the legacy effect, which is creating something that lasts longer than your specific time spent inside. And that's about creating something where people have tools to go forth themselves and aren't dependent on you being there. In our case, specifically with music, that had to do with recording. Once a certain percentage of the population were trained on recording, they could document themselves and one another. That deepened bonds between them. It created bonds that heretofore didn't exist. And it meant that when I came in to the institution, if I'd be on tour, when I come back after a month, there'd be 10 new songs that then I could help them with. I could put input, sometimes play on, but the tools were in their own hands. And whatever the dynamic of your work, this is what you need to do. What's very interesting is 7 years into this program, the cast of characters has changed, both in terms of the incarcerated and professionals, yet somehow it expands and grows, and that's because the knowledge is shared. And I meet people inside who've gone through the program who I hadn't even known before, and I walk in and they're very familiar with me because it's all happening and the knowledge is shared. So I'd say that's a very important thing, because very often people get in, you work so hard to get in, you have a single event or a single opportunity to take advantage of, and then it goes away and it can feel like, where'd that time go? Anything you do inside prison, believe me, is worthwhile. I started this when the government shut down the agricultural program inside of prisons, which had been running for 2 centuries and had a recidivism rate of 0.1%. Meaning people who went through the agricultural program did not reoffend. And I understood that you would cancel positive programming in prison and psychological surveys and the chaplaincy because you're not looking for people to get out or rehabilitate. You're looking to load prisons, and there are very nefarious principles involved in that, namely privatization and profiting from incarceration. So without getting into too much of a polemic, what you're doing by going in and giving and activating the consciousness inside is healing people, and you are preventing society from moving towards a very dangerous precipice, which works on stigmatization, the exploitation of hate and anger. And I applaud anyone who has the sense to do this. I do it because I can. There are many people I meet inside who themselves have been victims of crimes their family have, and that to me is incredibly humbling. Whatever it is you're doing, just do it from the heart and don't blink. Right, Ernie? Be my inspiration tonight.